This workshop is purely educational. Nothing in this workshop is intended to treat, prevent, diagnose, or cure any medical condition. Please do not start a healthcare program without first consulting a licensed healthcare professional. The Heal Thy Child Workshop. Children are a source of love and happiness, and as parents, we all want the best and do the best to ensure our children are as healthy as they can be. However, childhood illness is on the rise. Childhood obesity is up over 400% in the last 30 years, and 17 million children are now on psychiatric medication like Prozac and Ritalin. We need to work harder than ever to make certain that our children stay healthy. Two of the most prevalent childhood disorders are ADD and ADHD. ADD and ADHD are most commonly thought of as problems with the brain. Some of the symptoms related to ADD are the child doesn't pay attention to details or makes careless mistakes, has trouble staying focused and is easily distracted, appears not to listen to when spoken to, has difficulty remembering things and following through on instructions, has trouble staying organized, planning ahead and finishing projects, frequently may lose or misplace homework, books, toys, and other items. You know any kids like this? How about the symptoms related to ADHD? Well, this is a child that fidgets constantly and squirms, often leaves his or her seat in situations where sitting quietly is expected, moves around constantly, often running or climbing inappropriately, talks excessively, has difficulty playing quietly, is always on the go as if driven by a motive, blurts out answers without waiting to be called on to hear the whole question, has difficulty waiting for his or her turn, often interrupts others, intrudes on other people's conversations or games, and has an inability to keep powerful emotions in check, which may result in angry outbursts or temper tantrums. Do you know any children like this? Well, the medical treatment of ADD and ADHD are usually the use of amphetamines, such as Ritalin and Adderall. Well, is there possibly a more natural way to support a child's brain and body so they can focus and concentrate better? Well, to understand that and to answer this question, we need to understand a bit about how the brain and body work. First off, brain cells make chemicals called neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters are chemicals that help us concentrate, focus, have energy, feel happy, and sleep. Neurotransmitters are released by one brain cell. They then travel across a small space and reach another brain cell. When they reach the other brain cell, they then stimulate the other brain cell to work. Neurotransmitters get released in the brain thousands of times each second. What are some of the things that could have a negative effect on your body's ability to produce neurotransmitters? Well, the first thing would be intestinal problems. Your food is digested in our intestinal tract. The digestion of food depends in part on the delicate balance of good bacteria to bad bacteria. We're supposed to have about 85% good and 15% bad bacteria. When our gut is like that, digestion is usually good. One of the food sources that we must be able to digest well for good mental performance is protein. Protein comes from things like eggs, meat, fish, and dairy. Protein is broken down in our intestinal tract into tiny little pieces called amino acids. Each amino acid has a different shape and size to it. You see that amino acid A has a different shape from amino acid B. Your body takes amino acids and turns them into neurotransmitters. For example, your body might take amino acid A and combine that with amino acids B and C to make the neurotransmitter serotonin. So the neurotransmitters in the brain come from protein. You must have a healthy intestinal tract to break down the protein and make the neurotransmitters. Intestinal dysbiosis occurs when the balance of good and bad bacteria go off. This can occur due to poor diet, parasitic infections, yeast, toxins, antibiotics, and other medications. When the balance goes off, we can't break down the protein as well. Remember, we need protein to make the neurotransmitters. So no protein digestion equals no neurotransmitters made. Well, how would a person act if they had too many neurotransmitters? Well, it's my theory that if it was a child, the child wouldn't be able to pay attention well to details and would probably make careless mistakes. The child would probably have trouble staying focused and be easily distracted. They would appear not to listen to when spoken to. They'd have difficulty remembering things and following instructions. They have trouble staying organized, planning ahead, finishing projects. They frequently lose or misplace homework, books, toys, and other items. Essentially, it seems that the symptoms of ADD could be the same as the symptoms of low neurotransmitters. Now, the interesting thing is there are no FDA-approved medical labs that check neurotransmitter levels in the brain. But remember, neurotransmitters are made from amino acids, which come from proteins. There are labs that are done through urine and blood to check the levels of amino acids. A formula can then be customized exactly for your child so they have the right balance of amino acids, so they have the best chance of supporting a healthy neurotransmitter level. We can also do holistic stool studies to see if there are any intestinal dysbiosis present, stopping the proper breakdown of protein. There are other things that can interfere with a child's brain's ability to work properly, and those things will be discussed in the second part of the workshop. In addition to that, we will cover why a person would need to eat 65 bowls of spinach today to have the same amount of iron as one bowl of spinach did back in 1945.